Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of the Pit Therapy Podcast. I am Kyle, and we are joined here with Trevor. So, what's up, man? How are you?
Good.
Good.
Weird intro.
I I don't know. It's a weird life. Okay.
Somebody hit somebody!
The episode we have today is probably gonna suck. So sorry, but
You know
whatever.
what? They can't all be winners. But this is also something that I'm actually very interested in and just like people's opinions on it. So, yeah, we'll get into all of it.
Yeah. So yeah, man. How you been? How you doing? What you got going on?
Good, man. Dude, not too much, man. It's been a busy week. I busy 2 weeks. I'm going out of town to San Diego for a work trip or whatever. So, like work has just been absolutely hectic. I had some like last minute major issues happen where like a big deal fell through literally day that it was supposed to
Mm,
happen kind of thing. So like just some crazy work stuff that's added stress. And I'll be honest, like because of that, I've not listened to music. I
yeah.
actually took your recommendation and I audibled Brandon Sanderson.
Oh, nice.
What is it called? Wave the King?
Wave Kings.
Is
Yeah.
that it? It's
Uh-huh.
not that good, bro.
Man, I don't want to hear that.
It's not that good.
It is
I'm
good.
like I'm like 7 hours into the audiobook right now.
Audiobook's like 30 hours, isn't it?
45.
Yeah, you barely scratched the surface, man. Relax.
I
It
know,
takes
but the fact that like okay, so let's put this into perspective. I am a fifth of the way through. No
no,
more
it's
than that.
less than that.
Less than that?
45 hours and you're like 5 hours in? A little more than 5 hours
Seven
in?
7 hours in.
Seven. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a sixth. I'm a sixth of the way through. And a sixth of the way through, I'm like, dude, it's dragging, man. It's dragging. I got to the first like I've just finished part one is
Uh-huh.
where I'm at. And now there's that like whatever in between
The
stuff
interludes.
happening. Yeah, the interludes.
Yeah.
So and we'll have to see what happens from here. Like his world building's cool and all that stuff, but it's so slow paced in my opinion. And maybe it's just because I'm listening to someone talking to me and kind of droning that maybe that's the problem. But
Yeah.
then like I thought that, but then I thought, but is the actual information that interesting? And I'm like, eh.
It is, dude. Look, it all ties in.
Okay,
Oh, when
well,
I read it, like, look, I will be the first to admit that like sometimes I feel like he's overcorrected on the like world building in parts. And
over
like,
descriptive.
yeah, sometimes you just like want him to get to stuff, but every single one of his books has some of the best payoffs of anything you'll read. So,
Listen,
and it
I will
catches, it
report
gets
out
in.
weekly. I'll
All right.
let you know. And like it's just he like I can totally see everything that's happening. He has spent 4.5 hours of my 7 hours in just
I
description
know,
mode.
but it
So
matters. I promise you that like the world building matters for the stuff that happens later on. I know that that's hard, and like I don't read very much, and so I'm like pretty surprised that I even got into these books as much as I did
yeah.
because like I get bored super easy. But for some reason, like the world building, and I'm like really grabbed my attention. And then once you start learning how like some of the magic works in the book and some of the other people in it, it all starts to tie together. So look,
Well,
it's like a 1,200 page book.
yeah. And here's the thing, it came
But
out with a pretty big bang. Like that first hour was
right.
actually really interesting. Like, and so I was like, oh, this is gonna go off awesome. And then you get to the first part where all of a sudden, like he's getting taken away, she's trying to do all of her stuff, and then all of a sudden there was 5 hours of why like that. You could have said that in like
Nah,
20 pages on both of them.
nah, dude,
And
I love it. I
so,
read I read all five of those books. They're like minimum 1,200 pages. I read all five of them in like a month and a half.
well, I downloaded the Audible version of the first one because I was like, again, I listened to the Acacia Strain during my morning job. I listened to Combust, Scarhead, Crown of Thorns,
Yeah.
Madball, like New York hardcore. Finally, it got to the point where I was just like, listen, I need a break for a minute. Like, I'll just listen to a book. And that's my opinion so far, 7 hours in.
Yeah.
So
So I went from reading a book like that that's like it's like some of the most in-depth like world building, all this stuff. And I just read Star Wars books now that are made for like 14-year-olds because I just they're like 300 pages each and I can burn through them quick and I have the attention span of a goldfish. So,
but you know what? That's great. Like I love just like short story, like 300 pages and super short, but comparative, right?
Right.
It is. But they grab your attention. They add to the world, the universe that you're exploring, and it's perfect. You know, I love stuff like that. Everything doesn't have to be the what is it, the Cimmerillion
Yeah.
kind of thing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. But nah, dude, you have to let me know. I think you'll end up liking it. Just give it a
listen,
chance.
I do too. I think I will like it, but I think I will have the exact same opinion. A 45-hour book could have been done. Maybe it's 20 hours. Like 20 hours is still a long freaking book,
I know.
but
I know.
I think there's a lot that could get cut out.
I think the first one's like one of the smallest books of the series too. So
Oh, are you serious? Well,
yeah.
we'll see. We'll see how far I make it then.
Yeah, yeah, no, you got it, dude. So we haven't talked because I guess last week we did Combust, but got back from Disney World.
Yeah.
That was a freaking sick trip. I look, man. I have no problem being like a Disney adult. I freaking love it. It's a blast.
You've got kids, man. You've got kids. You do it right. If you go by yourself and go wander Disney,
I would do
and
it.
mostly like if you go to like the princess sections, like the dudes who go to Disneyland and they hop on like Peter Pan, Alice in Wonderland, all of that kind of stuff. That's the ones where I'm like, there's something
I'm all
wrong.
right. I'm okay with that.
No,
I'm not
man.
okay. Look, I would have no problems going alone, but you would not catch me like waiting in line to meet characters.
Yeah. And
I get that.
there are a lot of
No,
those.
I know.
So, but like if you just go, like I'm down, like you could go ride Star Wars, you can go ride Space Mountain, you can go ride the Matterhorn, like you can go ride all sorts of cool rides, and like the food's good and
Yeah.
it is a fun atmosphere. Like if you
Blast.
just like, yeah, I'm down. I
Pretty
like
good time.
Disney stuff, but
Yeah.
you can't be the weird dude who's wandering around the little kids area.
Yeah. No, I get that. There was like no one there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We did the fast pass, but like even after, because they changed the like lightning lane stuff, and it's
Yeah.
like they run out of
Genie
them.
Plus
and
now or
yeah, it's
whatever.
like it's a mess. But there were a couple times where we couldn't get the lightning lane for the rides, and we just waited in line, and they were like 20-minute waits for like some super popular rides. It was crazy.
So my coworker went to Disneyland over the 4th, and he said the same thing. Everyone told him, they're like, it's the worst day of the year. It's summer break. Everyone goes. He's like, we expected to ride 6 rides. He's like, we rode 8 before 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
He's like, it was insane. It was dead. So I think that honestly, it's because of all the craziness going on with
Sure.
raids and crap like that. And yeah, I just think that there's a lot of chaos going on
Yeah.
right now. That's kind of stopping people from doing a lot of things. But, you know,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Sucks, but yeah. So, all right. Well, new music. I guess you said you haven't really been listening to much. I know we've talked about a few things. So if you want me to rattle off what I got, I can.
Yeah, man. You just gotta throw it at me.
So End It. They've released 2 songs.
I listened to the first one. It was
Okay.
dope.
Second one's cool too.
Okay.
I think the second one came out yesterday or today. One of those. It was like this week it came out, but
Okay.
super cool. Then Biohazard released a new song. It's tight. They just announced their tour too,
Yeah.
which is going to be incredible.
Yeah. They're taking Bayway, which
Uh-huh.
Bayway just posted that video that we were talking
Those
about.
videos are so funny.
Right. The Bayway Promise.
Uh-huh.
Listen, we said it. The only thing that we disagree with is the Bayway Tall Tees. We're not tall tees out here, but we also don't have the East Coast fashion style.
True.
So
Um, Evergreen Terrace. So they're doing a split. I can't remember who the split's with, but they released a couple songs. They're super good. I mean,
I love Evergreen.
I listened to it and I was like, yeah, this is 100% Evergreen Terrace song, like through and through. So I really
I
liked it.
remember when Jill on Christmas came out. That was a while ago. That song was super dope. I have Restless Leg Syndrome on right now. Yeah,
It's good.
dude, it's sick. It's fast. It's aggressive. They were
Mhm.
so much fun at Furnace Fest. Like, I kind of hope the Evergreen kind of makes a little bit of a resurgence.
Comeback.
Maybe
Yeah.
do a decent sized tour or something.
Yeah,
That'd
that'd
be
be cool.
dope.
And then Angel Dust released a song. It's like, I don't know. Angel Dust is one of those bands that like I kind of have to be in the mood in to listen to.
Okay.
And some of their stuff like hits with me and some of it doesn't. But this new song's like a straight up just like hardcore song. It's tight.
Was it The Knife?
I believe so.
Okay.
I don't have the name written down. I just have I can't remember the song name, but and then Spit My Rage, local
Yeah.
band that we've had on, cool guys. They just released like a 6 song
Yeah, I
EP or
did listen
whatever.
to that. That was super
It's
solid
awesome. They're tight, man. And they just did that tour through like the Midwest and like the Northeast and
with Prevention. Yeah.
looks like it was a dope tour. And I'm just super happy, man, because like those are good dudes and they do a ton for the scene down here. So I'm like really happy that they're seeing some success other places, you know?
And you know what? Like, some of their like other bands are too. And like DEFCON 1,
Yeah.
they got added to one of was it
Flyover.
Flyover Fest?
Yeah. And
Is
I'm gonna bring that up
DEFCON?
too when we talk about tours and stuff.
Yeah. So like they're having success. Like it's not just Spit. Like Dallas itself is having some bands start to pop off, get
Hmm.
added to bigger things, and make connections that are outside of just Texas. Like I think that's
Right.
one of the things that Foz is doing really good at is just like spreading himself out.
Yeah.
And I think that it's paying off right now, and we're starting to see that.
Yeah, for sure. And then the last album came out a little bit ago. I don't, I guess I didn't know these guys like that well. But did you ever listen to Heaven Shall Burn?
Very little.
Okay. Their new album's actually pretty cool.
I saw
But
you had sent that. I didn't have a chance to get to it yet. So what is it?
it's like a lot more on the like metal side of like metalcore. You know, it's almost if like Unearth was a little darker sounding.
It's you start to pull like the Swedish influence, right? You
A
have
little bit, yeah.
some of that like orchestra type of aspect to it.
Maybe not as much as like the orchestra. Honestly, I guess they do have a little bit of orchestra, but yeah, I guess it's if like the Acacia Strain was more like power metal influenced.
Okay.
It's
I mean
cool though.
they're from Germany, so they're gonna
Yeah.
pull from the In Flames and bands like that have definitely influenced the metalcore, all of that kind of stuff for
Yeah.
sure.
It's
So
like it's like a heavier Unearth, a heavier War of Ages, you know,
okay,
that type of metalcore. And honestly, like I don't really listen to it that much. So like to me, this was kind of a breath of fresh air for me lately, because again, like I don't really listen to this kind of music, but like it was cool. It was cool.
yeah. I mean, I have them pulled up here, pulling or having been going since '96.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. We're talking 30 years. It's
Yeah.
30 years next year that they've been
Yeah.
doing this. So
Crazy.
shout out to them to what was the band that we said there was a band that we said like they had a album that was like one of their best albums and it was like their most recent one.
Was it Acacia Strain?
No, I mean them too. But there was a different band that we talked about where it was just like, man, this was a dang good album and it's like their sixth album.
Funeral for a Friend?
I mean that one too, but no, I'll have to look back. I don't remember. We were talking about it, but I don't remember. So
Yeah.
what? It doesn't matter.
So, well, that's all I got for like new music and stuff. But I did want to bring up the Flyover Fest because they dropped that and it looks freaking dope.
Yeah,
So they've got like Cold World, Fiddlehead, End It, Sanction, Judge, Zabalba, Gridiron, um, like Bayway. The one of the coolest parts is that John Moreland is playing. Have you ever listened to him?
I have. I know
Yeah,
you're a pretty big fan of him.
I think that's so random. I just think it's cool. I'm down with that. I'm down that they would
Yeah.
bring something like that in. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, so that's in November. We actually talked about maybe running up to that one because what Oklahoma City's
It's like a
two and a
3 hour
half,
drive.
3 hour drive.
Hmm.
Yeah, like it's not far at all. So I might be flying out your way, and we'll slip up to that one, but we'll have to see. Um, yeah, and then you had the Biohazard that had the Bayway on it. I'm trying to think of any other tours that got announced. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, I can't either. Not ones that we haven't already talked about. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know. This is like weird time, I guess, because like I think a lot of the tours for the fall have already been announced. So,
Well, and I also think we're in the throes of tours. Like I just caught Haywire last week. It's going on in Dallas tonight. So F you, man. Uh dude, that show.
yeah,
Like I just made another stupid meme about it. I don't know if you watched that yet,
I haven't seen it yet.
but it's just Ron Swanson where he's just like, you have a sense of accomplishment. And when he's like working with Ann Perkins on like the
Oh
house
yeah,
stuff, and it's just like you're seeing showing out for Haywire, and then it's him being like,
yeah,
there's a sense of accomplishment, there's a sense of pride. So
yeah. I wanted to go tonight, but I had like kid stuff that
yeah,
I wasn't able to make it.
no, it's all good. Uh, but then the craziest news I saw today, and I shot this over to you guys, was Hopeless buying Fat Records.
Yeah,
That's super interesting. And if you notice, like Fat Mike is maintaining the trademark, the logo, like Fat Records is still technically going to be a brand. It
right,
just Hopeless is going to own it. So they're going to continue to uh do like sponsorships, and like if there's festivals and stuff like that, there will be branding for Fat Records and things along those lines. But what it did, which I'm really curious about bands in positions where they've had advances and everything like this, is Hopeless bought out everyone's advance. So basically, by doing this, everyone's zeroed. So any new distribution, any new monetization, it's immediately paying the bands,
right,
which I feel like is a huge thing. Maybe I'm overselling this kind of thing, but in my mind, I don't know what bands had advances left or anything,
right.
but that seems incredible. So, I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
don't,
mean,
I
in
don't know.
stories, yeah, but like in stories of record labels just straight up screwing bands over, like this is a nice change of pace to hear
Right,
about. So
right.
absolutely.
For because like you would think if another label bought a label, it's like it's because we're going to recoup all that money that the
Yeah,
bands have to be paying for that label. No, Hopeless was just like we just want we want your rights, your distribution. We want the bands under us and stuff like that. We will help to continue to grow and promote what Fat Records, a legendary record label, has done for the scene, for the punk scene specifically. And like, we're not going to take advantage, is
right.
the way that's my interpretation of it. Now, again, my understanding of this stuff is very minimal. Like, this is me just reading on paper and trying to read between the lines. If I'm wrong about this, please correct me and tell me why Hopeless taking over Fat Records is a bad thing. But
Yeah.
I couldn't see any reason why this would be a bad thing for them.
Have you seen like the bands on Fat Records?
I mean, I'm on there right now looking at it. I mean, you still have Face to Face. You still have
Like I know,
the
I know, yeah. Like I know
Flatliners.
some of these, like Good Riddance is awesome. Uh
Lagwagon's
Lagwagon,
there. Me First and the Gimme Gimme's No Use for a Name. I mean, No Effects is done,
Sick of
but
It All's on
still.
there, Strung Out,
Yeah. Like, there's still some crazy.
Swinging Utters.
Yeah.
When was the last time you thought of them, dude?
Dude, forever ago. Like, and that's the thing. I don't know what, like, the last new band that they brought on would have been, which maybe the advances, like maybe there wasn't very many advances out there, which so maybe this is kind of a moot point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a lot of these bands are established bands. But regardless, I
Yeah.
think I think even the headline itself is a dope headline.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, for sure. I was even looking at like bands on Hopeless.
dude,
They just
Hopeless is
they've got like huge hitters, right? Like Yellow Card, Newfound Glory, The Used, Taking Back Sunday. But I don't know who like any of these people are. They have so many like solo artists. When did that become a thing? You know?
yeah.
Like what's Blinko?
Yeah. I mean, I've got no idea. I'm sure that there's a big scene for this kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
John
But
Floriani. In his picture, I can't tell if he's got just like a really bad bowl cut or if that's a beanie. I don't know.
but like the thing is, like they've got some insanely big bands. You
Yeah.
have Neck Deep, Newfound Glory was an alumni. The Wonder Years are still here. Silverstein was previously on there. Like they've had just some absolutely insane bands
Right.
come through Hopeless. So like again, they're going to be one of those just bigger labels who are going to be able to just the success of their big ones support some of these smaller artists as well or independent single
Right.
artists. So
Oh man. This day and age, I don't know that I'd want to be necessarily in the record label business. It's not the same as it used to be, you know?
you know, I have my sister-in-law going through it even to this point. She has a manager or whatever, and she's been talking to different record labels and stuff about deals. And I think labels are understanding. Like some of the deals that she's told me about, they aren't as bad as what it sounded like previously. I
Yeah.
think, but like it's essentially to get your distribution out there is
Right.
what it is. And who were we were talking to someone and that's what they were saying. Like the point of going to a label would be essentially for distribution and
Yeah.
pressings and stuff like that. Cause everything else you can pretty much do on your own.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
but you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, that's all I got for the news, I guess. So we can get into the topic at hand.
Yeah.
So a few weeks ago, we were talking about the acacia strain, and we brought up like the imagery of some of the stuff with them, and it got the wheels churning in my brain. And I just started thinking about like the imagery in a lot of this music and just kind of how funny it is, but also like how cool some of it is. I don't know. We might talk a lot about this and people might be like, yeah, you guys are dumbasses for even like this shouldn't have ever been put on air. But I don't know. It just got me thinking about a lot of the imagery in this music. And so I wanted to spend some time and kind of talk to you and talk through like what some of my favorite imagery is in the music, you know, how unique some of these scenes are, even though like we all kind of listen to the same heavy music, even though there's like nuances between something like a black metal and a death metal.
Yeah.
To the untrained ear, you might think they're similar, but even to like the imagery of that music, it is different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. And so let me ask you, are we talking specifically like band image, like record, like the record art,
Yeah.
or are we talking like the actual
So,
style?
Both.
'Cause, like-
I kind of wanted to get into both because I think there's uniqueness to both of them.
Okay, so here's my first question, and this is just a very, what's the word? Study of man, whatever that word is.
I don't know.
Like, why
Porn?
as what?
Nothing. Keep going.
Why as groups do we tend to dress certain ways? Act certain ways?
Anthropology? So what's that the store?
That's the store, but I think it's a very similar word.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Like-
we're idiots.
Anthropomorphic or something like that. I'm pretty sure that's the word.
What's the
But
Animorphs?
no, no, come on, bro. But I'm really curious about it, right? Like, how do like trends and styles and look, like, why do we feel like we have to do a lot of that stuff
Yeah.
to fit in?
Right.
Like, and as you grow up, you tend to grow out of it and stuff like that. But like, what is it in our brains that like makes us do it? Like I am really interested in that because you immediately think of like the ones that stand out. Ska music. What
Right.
does ska music have? Fedoras, suspenders,
Checkered shoes.
checkered shoes, bowling
Yeah.
shirts. Like,
Right.
yeah, you know what you're getting if you like say like, what is ska? It's the Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Andy Samberg, right?
We skank it.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But you also listen to what you would think is like black metal, which is going to be the corpse paint. And
Uh-huh.
it's going to be burning churches. It's going to be studded belts and
Upside down
wristbands.
crosses. Yeah.
Exactly. And then you think of thrash with the battle jackets and mohawks. And you know what I mean? Like, so it's interesting to me that this all happens. And I always think that it was always funny to me to find the bands that kind of ditch the look. Like the first band that I like can really think of that it was like, oh, the style of music you're playing, you don't look like your current contemporaries, was August Burns Red.
Yeah.
Like August Burns Red, where they're wearing like the polo shirts
Uh-huh.
and then JB's up there in flip flops,
Yeah.
just shredding. You know what I mean?
Same with
There's
Parkway Drive, right?
Yeah, Parkway. They were like surf bums. You know what I mean? And then they were just throwing down the nastiest stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's like the ones that like buck the stereotype. Like I always found that interesting, and I don't know why. It's because I was a kid, and you thought
But
that they
it, yeah, no, it is interesting, right? And I like quote unquote did research. I didn't do any research because I couldn't find anything. Like I searched for like 5 minutes and I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna find the answers to these. So I give up. If somebody knows the answers to these, please share. But I tried to look at like who some of the first bands were that kind of started to do this stuff. And I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure there's an answer out there. I didn't like necessarily have a lot of time, but like I've thought a lot about thrash because I've been listening to a lot of thrash music. And it's like, okay, from an imagery standpoint, from like album art, even band names, right? Like how many death metal bands have the name Death in it?
Yeah, I mean, literally Death Metal.
Literally all of
A
them,
band
right?
called Death.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah.
yeah. But I'm just saying but that's interesting and that's funny to me, right? But you look at thrash and like I click through all these bands like Municipal Waste. You go look at like one of my favorite albums from Municipal Waste is hold on, sorry. It is The Art of Partying,
Yeah,
where it's got all the like thrash guys with the hat that's like the brims flipped upside down, like what Suicidal Tendencies does,
yeah,
with like
yeah.
the cutoff sleeves, and it's like neon colors. There's like vomit and what's the like nuclear waste? Like I was like bins of
Yeah,
like nuclear
yeah.
waste, and it's like that is like quintessential thrash imagery. And you start looking at like all these other bands, right? You start looking at like there's a band called Toxic Holocaust.
Right.
And like one of their albums is like Neon Cobra, and the background's like red with like eyeballs coming out of the wall. And it's like, it's just this like like it's like a very fundamental imagery in thrash that like you kind of fall in line with that, right? It's like very traditional pinnacle of like what that genre is. And it just, I don't know, made me start thinking about this because I started clicking through like all these thrash bands like Warbringer. You know?
And it's interesting that you say that because I actually think that a lot of that stuff, and again, this is just my opinion, but I think a lot of that stuff goes back to Iron Maiden, who wouldn't be considered a thrash band, right? But they had Eddie. They had the zombie looking guy. They had the kind of crazy scenes. They had the different like color palettes and stuff like that. You think about like the Trooper album where it's him like running through the battlefield and stuff like that. And so I think like I look at probably like an Iron Maiden as influencing a lot of those thrash bands in
Yeah.
terms of imagery and
Right.
things like that. And so they just took it to another level. They took the cartoons, and then they add the toxic waste, and they add
The assault
the
rifles
yeah,
and
assault
yeah,
rifle, chemicals spilling out, all of that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, like it starts to stem from stuff along those lines.
yeah. So let's just talk a little bit about like some of our favorite album imagery. And we can get into like fashion, I guess, imagery, because I do think that's an interesting topic as well. But like album imagery, visual imagery of this stuff. Like thrash has always been one of my favorites. I love the idea of like apocalyptic worlds with like
Yes.
neon, you know, everything's destroyed. There's like, cause you know, a lot of the music stems from like punk. Thrash is like, it's metal sonically, but it's an offshoot of punk, right? So a lot of thrash is like very political. It's very anti-war. It's very anti-authority. Like a lot of the imagery, even though they've spiced it up with like the neon and the people with the flipped hats and the zombies and all this stuff, like it's still very like almost militant too, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I've just always loved the imagery of it on the albums. I think that all these bands that do that, I just like I'll sit there and look at the Municipal Waste albums like all day. I'm not even listening to them, but I'm just looking at their albums because I'm like, this is great. I love the imagery of thrash. So honestly, out of like all the scenes, that's probably my favorite like album imagery is a lot of the thrash bands. What would you say that like your favorite album imagery is? Because we can go down the list, right? There's death metal, which is like a lot of skulls, a lot of like
Yeah. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
That's hard, man. That's hard to say like what's my favorite because like there's just certain albums that grab me. Like I literally bought the Better Lovers album just because of the artwork.
Okay.
I don't really like it, but the kid holding a firework and blowing his face off kind of thing, like it was just such a visual,
Yeah.
but it also encompasses who like the Better Lovers sound kind of is that kind of southern chaotic sound and stuff like that. You get like that Dillinger aspect because of Greg and everything along those lines. So I thought it was just very fitting, very appropriate. But then on the flip side, I love contentions. I love
Okay.
artillery from heaven and having that old artillery gun on the front. Like we were talking about, like heavy is the head, contention. There's bands that use like specific images,
Okay.
like photographs.
Yeah.
I really like if the photograph is done well and you're kind of like, oh, like why? Like why that? Like
Okay.
heavy is the head is a train car.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then we were talking to Kendall and like it just fit for like what they were thinking and what, so there's I don't know if there's a certain scene or whatever that does it for me that's like better than others. But I'll tell you the one that I was in love with that I quickly decided I hate is what Rise Records did. It started
Okay.
with Homesick, right? But then you had like the Miss May I with like the crazy colors and
Devil
stuff
Wears
like
Prada.
that. The Devil Wears Prada.
Okay.
You had like that kind of cartoonish artwork
Okay.
that all of a sudden every metalcore band was doing.
Yeah.
That got overdone way too fast.
Yeah.
Way too fast. So, and then another one, listen, and like this is coming back hard right now. Bands are currently putting out a lot of demos, and all of the demos are using kind of the same.
All the like
It's like
column
the
on
black
the
and
left
white.
with yeah.
Yep, and the side things going down. It's just, it was cool for a minute. And if your artwork is cool, that's like next to it, like awesome.
Yeah.
But instead of like listing your songs down the side, just give me the artwork full. You know what I mean? I don't need to
Right.
see the song names down the side because if I'm on Spotify, the song names are right there.
Right.
And if I buy an actual CD from you, the song names are on the back. I would
Right.
rather have the full picture on your cover. You know what I mean? Like I think of like Realms of Death for that. That last
Yeah.
Realms of Death album, such cool artwork. If you had scaled that down and put like the names of the songs on the side, it wouldn't be as impactful.
Right. Same with like See It Through, right? We gave See It Through like a ton of
Yes.
credit for like the sun and stuff. Yeah, no, dude, I totally agree with you. So let me ask you this then. Do you prefer like gothic lettering, the death metal scribble lettering, the varsity lettering, or like graffiti lettering for album covers?
So it's a little bit mixed between the varsity and gothic
Okay.
is where I tend to go. Death metal, no, screw death metal. Like screw. I want to be able to read your
Read
name.
it? Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
I would like to know the actual, like, we need to talk to a band that has the scribble name and just try. I just want to understand the like thought behind that because I
the
can't read your
logic
name
behind
on
it.
flyers.
Right.
Can't read your name like if it pops up on a like if I just see like if somebody posts it on the internet and they don't put who it is. Like
Right.
I want to know what the like what's the thought process of the scribble lettering.
Right. I'm 100% with you. Like I can't do it. I don't like it. And I don't listen to that style of music enough to be like sing a swingabog. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like until I learned that theirs was the one that dipped down like a limp dick, like it took me like I didn't know who they were. Like, it took a minute to find out who they were and like then I recognized, oh, it has the curve. It's Sing a Swingabog. Uh, but the rest of them, like, if you're a new band doing it, I don't know who
I
you
don't know.
are.
Yeah, I don't either.
Like, you better do some heavy marketing.
Like it kind of looks cool, but like even right now when I was reading the Flower Fest thing, there's a
Yeah,
band
yeah,
I skipped because I can't read their name. I don't know who it is.
yeah.
Might be Peeling Flesh because I think they're from Oklahoma,
Oh,
and I know they do
but
the like scribble lettering, but
do they? I thought Peeling Flesh
it's
did
like
the more
it's like
kind
you
of
have to
like
learn
gold
freaking.
styles.
It's like Chinese. What do they call the like Mandarin? Like the what's it called? Like the writing. It's not like alphabet writing. It's the kanji. Or
Oh,
that's
you're right.
Japanese. It's
No,
like
no,
their
like,
pictures, right? So you have to like
yeah,
memorize. You have to memorize the image. You don't even memorize. Like
that's what I'm
sometimes it doesn't
saying.
mean a word. That's what these death metal things are. You know?
Saying a Swigabog, limp dick. Like it just goes together. Like that's exactly what it looks like. I think you're right. I think it is peeling flesh. There's no way
Okay.
it says peeling flesh in the peeling flesh logo. Like
Yeah.
it just doesn't. So, I mean,
Yeah.
cool. Like whatever. But yeah, I'm not really into that. I did kind of the frantic scratching looking deathcore stuff that happened for a little bit. Like
Okay.
Suicide Silence did it for a little bit. Elijah did it for a little
Okay.
bit. Where
See.
you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? It
Yeah. I
was
know what
like
you're talking about.
pencil
Yeah. Yeah.
scratching. Yeah,
See,
yeah.
I don't really like that. I don't know if it's as much for the writing though, but like I did not like the imagery of a lot of those bands. Like I don't like a lot of the new like emo bands coming out or like scrams or screamo or whatever you want to call it, right? The
Yeah.
like new emo bands. I don't like the imagery of that because like the world's dark enough, dude. I don't have to sit there and stare at like some depressing. Like here's a good example: is the one of the singles that Lower Definition came out is like the weird like almost Rorschach looking image, and it's like a girl like sticking her fingers in her mouth, and I'm just like, man, I don't want to look at that. I think Grief Eater. I think that's the
Grief
song name.
Eater.
Yeah, like that was my problem with like Suicide Silence and like the old Bring Me the Horizon and like Elijah is like I don't like that imagery, right?
It just depends, right? Like, um, it's funny that you bring up Lower Def because forever whenever we forgot Lower Def's name, we're like, do you remember the cover that had the guy with the
Yeah,
camera on it?
like the
And
old school.
everyone immediately knew what you were
Yeah,
talking about, at least in our friend group, because we loved that album.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It was so good. It was awesome. The greatest of all lost. Like having a standout cover art is incredible. You know what I mean? So like that's where what you're talking about in terms of bands doing the same things. Like that's what I was saying with the data remembers, the
hmm
all that stuff. It all just became the same. And you're like, I don't even remember what that cover looks like.
yeah.
But then like you think of like a Suicide Silence, like I'm thinking of uh oh gosh, what is the album called? The Cleansing. The guy with his head back and the black's coming out of his mouth and everything. Like that's
Yeah.
just again, I couldn't remember the name of the album for a second, but I can visually picture that.
The image of it. Yeah. Sure.
And I'll tell you, one of the bands that we talked about where their visual imagery was like awesome, but like we don't listen to them a ton, Nailed Shut, man.
Yeah.
That got creepy, but it got creepy in a good way,
It's
in my opinion.
It's pushing the limit for me. I don't know. I don't know. The deathcore. I even told this with you and Josh. I was like, call me a pussy or whatever, but like the imagery of a lot of like deathcore has never landed with me. Which is funny
Yeah.
because like death metal, I actually like some of the death metal outside of the scribbling. Like if you have like normal writing on a death metal album cover,
Yeah.
I really like it. Bands like Recidivist from Salt Lake, their album
Yeah.
cover's sick, right?
Yes.
A couple of like Texas bands, Creeping Death, their album covers dope. Frozen Soul, dope. Tribal Gaze, dope.
Yeah.
Love it, right? But then like outside of the scribbling stuff, but they don't really do a lot of the scribbling. But I love the like skeleton skull, the realms of death with the skeletons. Like, love it.
So this kind of goes back though to our beginning talk about Brandon Sanderson books and us growing up on fantasy novels
Yeah.
and things like that. Like in my opinion, seeing that imagery and stuff like that, it was like watching He-Man Masters of the Universe with Skeletor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like as a kid, we had skull images. I think of Thundercats.
Okay.
What was his name? The mummy looking dude. Mum-Ra. Mum-Ra. Like, dude, bro, I'll pull that out.
Way to pull that out, dude. I'm
I'll pull
impressed
that
with
out. So like I'm with you. I like that stuff, but it's because we grew up with like cartoons that had similar imagery, and now this is like the adult version of that imagery. It's fun, man. But listen, man, I gotta go back to Nailed Shut really quick because Lust in the End, I thought that album cover, it's that picture of the girl who's like contortionist looking thing.
Uh-huh.
But then you go and look at their song titles, Lust in the End, Cerebellum, Macabre, Teeth, like all this stuff. And it just like, it gives you a sense of like a horror film.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it was the perfect album to like put like that cover art into what you're going to listen to just fit.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Look, it may not land with me, but like I can appreciate the art for it. Right.
Yeah.
And I do have a specific question for you, and I'll get to it around this, but I kind of want to talk about a little bit of the other imagery.
Yeah. Let's do
for
it.
like album covers type stuff. So like, yeah, I've always liked the Varsity, and I've always kind of liked the graffiti, especially when it's bright colored. I don't know. I'm a sucker for like bright colored stuff. Maybe
So give me an album with the graffiti. Cause like, that's the only thing is like, I know I've seen it, but I just can't pick it off the top of my head.
Yeah. I should
right now
get an example, but yeah.
Because like, I can think of Varsity. I love Varsity because I like clean.
Yeah.
We talked about it previously. Garza had Buzz from the Melvins on one of his episodes. And one thing that Buzz said is every single Melvins album you will see, it is printed, easy to read, legible, and always on top. So as you're flipping through a bin of CDs, of records, whatever, if you get to a Melvins album, you know it's a Melvins album.
Right.
Like, I love that. I love simple stuff though. I love keeping it like simple, easy to see, understand everything. Like, I'm starting to think of some of the crazy slam metal bands like Party Cannon. Like, have you ever looked at Party Cannon's albums?
No.
Pull up Party Cannon really quick and look at Injuries Are Inevitable.
Like flag my computer.
I mean, it might. Like, it's just so over the top. And like, it's very appropriate to what Party Cannon is.
Yeah.
Like, just a crazy scene. You got like meat grinders with people coming. You've got literally some dude farting fire out of his
Yeah.
butt kind of thing. Like, it's just, it's wild and crazy, but that's also the music and the imagery that Party Cannon's going for.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't like it.
No,
Like,
I don't
but
either.
I'm also not a big Party
Yeah.
Cannon fan.
And I struggle with like Josh was asking me about Volcano.
Yeah.
Like even the like No Cure and like Sanguisugabog or 200 Stab Wounds, like I just again call me a pussy or whatever, but I just don't like seeing the imagery of like some dude's face getting peeled off. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good. So
No Cure doesn't have that, do they?
isn't No Cure's like first album like a rib cage or something? Maybe I saw it
Maybe.
wrong. I don't know. Is it?
I can't tell what. I mean, maybe that kind of red album,
Uh-huh.
The Commitment to Permanence.
Yeah.
I can't tell what's going on there.
All right.
But, anyways, yeah.
So there's a couple styles and like imagery that I feel like need to make a comeback because I think like obviously I like all the youth crew stuff, you know. I like the live shot and then like in the varsity, the band name above it. Like that's like good. It'll stand the test of time. Always going to be solid. Can't go wrong with that. A couple that I like and I think need to come back is like the samurai type art, Hunter Demons,
Okay.
Marauder, you know, a lot of like crossover thrash stuff. Did that. There's like a Christian hardcore band from Face Down called Color Preserve. They have an album cover with it. Like, I don't know.
I mean, like, you want to go metalcore realm, The Ghost Inside, their first album,
yeah,
Fury and the
exactly.
Fallen Ones.
Uh-huh.
That album cover was very, like, that stood out to me too.
Yeah, I feel
With-
like their album covers kind of went downhill after that too, you know? Like,
Oh, dude, that one was top notch.
Yeah.
I did like Returners. I thought it was an interesting one. But like, this is kind of what I was saying. Like, so the Ghost Inside, Fury and the Fallen Ones, that's like the gothic lettering,
Yeah.
and it's like all hand drawn. Like it was like that's a dope album cover. Like that one's awesome.
Yeah.
But then like Get What You Give, that's not great. Dear Youth, like that's not great. Like yeah, I mean just like they
got
start
boring,
to,
you know?
yeah,
That
exactly.
reflected their music too.
Yeah.
The other stuff that I hope comes back is like if you pull up, there's a band out of Florida called Burning Strong. They have an album called Here Until the End. It's like a pretty cool art, but it's like what do you call it? Like Greek statuesque type thing on there.
Yeah.
There was like
It's
a time period of
like a painting-ish style.
there was like a time period of like the late 2000s. Like Eco Strike's got a cool album cover. Like Abusive Power kind of has like a statue-y type. I don't know. Like there's this really cool like the Krishna, some of the like Krishna looking stuff, you know, with like I like those styles. I think that's cool. I think those should come back, you know.
Yeah.
So,
No, I agree. I think that's those are solid calls. Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm curious at why bands kind of replicate each other. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Instead of trying to branch out and
No,
make it a little bit more
I mean,
unique.
seriously, like think about Beatdown and the like hooded gangster dude.
Yeah,
What do you
it
call that?
it
Every
was all
Beatdown
kind
band's
of the
got an
same.
album that looks like that, you know?
Yeah. Like 100%, like the Tsunami guy, the Tsunami character.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So,
like
so let me ask you this. Like, what do you think came first? Like, do you think these bands do you think you play that kind of music so you conform to the imagery, or do you think that like you're drawn in by the imagery so you get into that music? Like chicken and the egg, you know? Like what do you think came first for a lot of these bands? And I guess we could talk about that too after the like fashion part.
I mean, it
'Cause
has
I
to be
think that's
music. It has to be music first.
yeah.
Right? Because you hear something and you're like, oh, I like that. Then you see what they look like.
Yeah.
Then you see their album covers. I mean, it might be a little bit more different today just because there is so much like clips and everything. But like when we were growing up, you heard stuff on the radio. You heard stuff off burned CDs. You heard like you had so much more music first before knowing anything about the bands.
Right. But how many bands did you listen to just because of album covers? You know what I mean? Like I've definitely been drawn into multiple bands and bought CDs or records just because of album covers and imagery, right?
Yeah. The one that I remember buying, well, I even said, like I told you, like I bought The Better Lovers just because of the album
Right.
cover. Um, but Catherine, rumor has it,
Oh yeah.
dude, that one's a dope
It's cool. Yeah, for sure.
album cover. That was one where like I had heard one or two songs and like, yeah, they were cool, but they weren't a band I was listening to frequently. And all of a sudden I was flipping through the bin and I saw it in a used section. I'm like, oh, I'm buying it. It was like $4 or whatever.
Right.
Grabbed it. Then you pop it in, and all of a sudden, like, I freaking love Rumor Has It. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely incredible. So, like, that was one I remember where it was the artwork was, it was like, yeah, I'm buying that.
Right. Yeah.
What about
Yeah.
you? I mean, like, can you think of any off the top of your head?
No, not, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, yeah, the album artwork has always mattered to me, you know, like and it's true. Like the imagery is important. It is important to me. Right. And like, I do think it's funny that like certain music does go hand in hand. Like I've said before, like I'm not a huge fan of like death metal, you know,
Yeah.
but I'm also not a huge fan of the death metal imagery. Like it's not even just the music. It's like the imagery too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess deathcore, because there's a lot of death metal stuff that like imagery wise I'm cool with, but like a lot of deathcore, like, so I don't know. It's just kind of funny how like intertwined that is with the music, you know? Because I think about like bands like Earth Crisis, like one of my favorite bands, but like I love the imagery on Earth
Yeah.
Crisis stuff, you know?
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny. It's just kind of funny how like you can, it's more than just the music, you know? And I even think like we can go into fashion a little bit, you know,
Yeah. I mean, like, let's talk about
because
that.
it's definitely a part of it. The imagery of the people and stuff too is definitely a part of it. It's more than just the music, you know.
So, do you like that?
I think it's unnecessary. I think that people get hung up on it, right? I think a lot of people will ask like, "Is this punk? Do I look punk enough?" You know,
Yeah.
and I think that's stupid. But I also like to say that like I've never thought that or
Oh, we've
you know
conformed.
you conformed to it would be a lie, right? And
Oh,
so
100%.
yeah, so
I
like
mean, to this day, we dress a certain way kind of by what we listen to, right?
for sure,
Like, I don't necessarily run around in a lot of polo shirts and, you know, with my shirt tucked in and a belt and stuff like that. And, like, not that I'm opposed to it. Like, if I go golfing, I will. But,
right?
like, my day to day is a Ferns Fest hoodie or something like that with, you know, like, it is easy, like basketball shorts
I don't know,
or things like that, and
dude.
then like Nikes,
Yeah,
and
I was literally today in a basketball jersey with
yeah,
cargo shorts and Vans.
right,
Like, ask me what kind of music. You don't even have to ask me what kind of music I listen to. If you're aware of this at all, like you know what I listen to. You know what I
you're
mean?
typically right.
Yeah. So like I don't know. It's funny that like the international superheroes of hardcore have a song that like pokes fun at that too, you know,
Yeah,
that talks about like there's no dress code, like you don't have to dress a certain way to be cool. If you like hardcore, then you rule or whatever the lyrics are and stuff. But like to act like that's not part of the scene and you're not thinking of that, like you absolutely are. You
yeah,
absolutely are. No matter how much you think that like you're above that, you're not. Like we all conform, you know.
right,
It's
right.
and it's super funny.
And listen, the only thing I will say is if you don't like it, you don't have to do it. Like
Right.
it doesn't change uh what you do or what you listen to or anything like that. Like there's a I'm not going to call him out or anything. Like it's not a call out. There's a guy who comes to a ton of the hardcore shows. He's very ingrained. He's played in bands, all of that kind of stuff. I have seen him, especially in the wintertime, in like scarves and like
Yeah.
really nice, fashionable stuff. but then like I've also seen him throw freaking down kind
Yeah.
of thing. Like, so like you never know. Like it doesn't matter. Dress how you want, do what you want. I think the interesting one right now is as bands get bigger, we are starting to see fashion starting to come into
Right.
hardcore and metalcore. It started with Turnstile.
Turnstile when they got the Grammy nomination or whatever.
Turnstile when they got the Grammy nomination.
Yeah.
And then when Knock Loose just got it, like Isaac Hill, their guitarist, he's all into fashion. He was just on what's the Craig Reynolds podcast or whatever. It's the drummer for Straight From Path or whatever. And he was talking about it and he
Okay.
asked him specifically about fashion. And Isaac was like I was always interested in it, but I didn't really have an outlet for it. Then all of a sudden we're going to the Grammys and I'm like, hell yeah, I'll do it. Like,
Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff.
Right.
So, like,
Yeah, I think like I want to make it clear, if people have made it this far, we're not like making fun of any of this stuff, right? Because again, I
No.
want to make it very clear, like you and I have definitely like if you don't think back in like 2007 that you and I weren't wearing freaking windbreakers with a baseball cap and Vans with jeans or whatever, like
oh, dude,
like
it was, it
we
was worse than that,
absolutely-
man. It was a small, banty, tight freaking jeans.
Well,
we
I mean,
had
we
the
went through
Hot
that
Topic
too,
studded
right?
belt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like I've gone through
I
all
wanted the emo
phases, man.
bangs.
Yeah, I've gone through all the phases. Like one year for Halloween, I went as Davey Havoc and cut my hair into the what do you call it, the death lock or whatever they call that,
Right.
And like I
I
wore
just call
I
them
wore the
emo
tight
bangs.
I wore the tight jeans with like a black shirt and like we hung out with guys that had battle jackets.
Exactly.
Like we are a part of this. So I want to make that clear. Like we are not poking fun. Well, we are poking fun at it, but we're poking fun at ourselves too, because we're 100% like involved in this. I just think that this is an interesting concept to think about, especially because like from the outside looking in across all these genres, they're not that different, right? It's not that different. If you were not involved in heavy extreme metal or whatever, hardcore, it's not that different. You wouldn't know the difference. But to us, you will never catch me in corpse paint. You know what I mean? Like you will never catch me.
Never say never, bro.
No.
Never say
you will
never,
never
bro.
catch. You'll never. I'll have to buy a wig and straighten it and stuff. Like yeah, you'll never catch me in corpse
Whatever,
paint.
bro. We can just go full white. You'll look
full
like
white.
Fester. You'll look like
Like
Fester from
Fester.
the Addams Family.
Yeah. No, but really though, like I just like it's just so interesting how like even in this little microcosm that we live in, how different this stuff is. Like I sent this guy at my work like an Earth Crisis video from like the late 90s, and you look at all those people, like they look way different than like the people just had the Ozzy Osbourne's like farewell thing, like
Yeah.
to the outsider, it all sounds the same, but like it couldn't be more different. And I just think it's interesting. It's interesting that a ska person, even though it's an offshoot of punk, like you could pick out, if I put a lineup of 10 people, people that dress in a certain way, you would automatically know who the ska person was without a doubt. And I think that's so interesting.
Right.
I think it's so interesting. All the death metal bands feel like they have to have the scratch scribble name on it. Like it's just, I don't know. It's just interesting. So
I don't know if we're gonna get crap for this, but there was a point in time, right, where hardcore got very militant.
yeah,
You were expected to look a certain way. You were expected to act a certain way. It was tough guy, right? And depending on, Josh has said this on the podcast, if you were a tall T kid, he didn't like you. You know what I mean? Like, it was interesting going through a phase where there was such very specific imagery, very specific dressing, the way that you did everything. You had like the stupid, again, the emo bangs, but then the teased in the back where it was like the extreme emo kind of looking stuff.
yeah.
And straight up, kids went out of their way to fight other kids who were looking different.
Just so stupid.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. But what I think is interesting today is you don't really have that.
Right.
Everything is much more meshed together. Everything is much more smorgasbord. Like the fact that like you have an Orthodox bringing back Jinko,
Jinkos. Yeah.
yeah, and like right now it's like everyone's dressing new metal,
Right.
but going off to
Right.
like hardcore or punk and
Hmm.
stuff like that. Like we just had again the Haywire show. They come out, they're dressed more like the skinhead
Right.
style and stuff like that. It's just the way that things are meshing and melding today and the openness and the acceptance of it, it's really cool.
It is.
So like don't feel like because you listen to black metal you have to have corpse paint. You know
Right.
what I mean? Don't feel like because you're listening to Earth Crisis, you have to have a pair of camo shorts
And a
and
bandana over your head, you know?
or a camo hat. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Like it's cool. Like everyone can just be there and just hang out and chill and like it's awesome. You see everything right now. You get kids like figuring out what their expression is. You get the punks, you get the hardcore, you get
Hmm.
everything. Like do what's cool to you. Like it's awesome. Like more power to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. And like none of us care, you know? I think this is all like super interesting to me. I don't know. Being old and kind of like taking more of a like my turn on the sideline, you know? Like I'm not the one running the show anymore. You know what I mean? It just gives me like time to like self-reflect on like how goofy this whole scene is. Super important to me. It helped me grow, you know, helped me get to where I'm at. I feel like I'm gonna stay in it forever. I'm gonna be the 60-year-old dude at shows, you know. But it is funny. It's goofy. And it's cool seeing all the kids come out and like I hope that they're learning a little bit from the dumb crap that we all went through, like you were saying about fighting tall tees for like literally no reason, you know?
Yeah. But
So
listen, I the other thing I will say too is we live in a world where it's very easy to AI something. You can get album art made for you. You can like clip art style. Like it's so accessible today. Seeing something that has taken time by like a good graphic designer or someone who's hand drawn something. That was
yeah,
something that Combust said. You
yeah,
know, shout out to Andrew. He was bringing up the hand drawn feeling of everything. Like this stuff matters, especially to the older generation like us. Your artwork does matter.
yeah,
And like be proud of it. You know what I mean? Like I freaking love physical mediums. Make your artwork with the intent of printing albums or printing vinyls or whatever, or make it very specific to tapes are coming back. Make a dope design that fits literally on the sleeve of a tape. Like, but be intentional about your
yeah,
artwork is how I feel about it right now.
yeah. And I think that that's, you know, I think that's kind of the point that I wanted to make with all this, was that this scene and stuff that we're a part of is so much more than just the music, you know, like it is fashion. We poke fun at it, you know, like I'm not into the black metal and corpse paint. People are, and it matters to them. There's a reason why they express themselves like that. Good for you. Like everything that we do is so much more than just the music. And I hope that these younger bands are starting to figure that out, that don't use AI, don't cut corners, don't think that you're going to just throw crap out there and like bank on, like what Andrew said, don't bank on streaming stuff. Like this is so much more than that. You know, we talked about Spit My Rage and all the good stuff they're doing. Do you know why they're successful? It's because Foz is at like every local show and he's talking to everybody.
Yeah, they're busting their ass.
Yeah, you know, like bring that back into hardcore. Like get off social media, quit listening to us, right? We're idiots. Go talk to people. Go make a fashion statement. You know, make a shirt or something for a band you like and go wear it and talk to people about it. Like let's bring the community that's more than just the music back into this. And I know there's a lot of places that have that, and kudos to you guys. And we need to grow that outside of the pockets that do have it, because that's what this was built on. You
Yeah.
know, we are weirdos. We are outside of the norm. That's why we listen to this stuff. That's why I relate to music that's heavy and aggressive. It's not because I'm normal.
Yeah.
So like, let's all get back to like the roots of this, and like let's put the effort back into it. Let's put the album covers that are drawn, that are artistic, that have a story to go along with the message of your album. That message could be really stupid. It could be that you're just pissed off, like typical hardcore beatdown bull crap of like some dude betrayed me. Cool. Like make the art mean something to you and what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's the old man monologue, and I'll get off my soapbox, but like it's more than just the music.
And listen, I'll add to that. Be part of the scene in somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Like, in addition to what we're talking about, shout out to the photographers.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to all the videographers.
Mm-hmm.
There are people putting in hours and hours for zero money, for zero recognition. You know what I mean? They are doing it to document the scene. They're doing it to document your bands because they love it. They love you guys. They love the scene that they're parts of. Like, shout out a couple of ours here. Like, you have Jesse Carlton, you have Miss Tiny Terror, you have Chase the Bag. Then, like, from the videographer stuff, you have like C2. Oh gosh. There's another big one that I'm missing right now, and I feel really bad. But he posts some really dope stuff. Like, there's some really, really cool stuff happening right now. And shout out to all these people who are making it happen and taking the time to do it, because they don't make shit from this.
Yeah.
They are doing it because they're friends with you guys. They're friends with the scene. They love the scene. They are interested in their art. They're interested in taking photos. They're interested in doing videography and stuff like that. There's people interested in doing album art design and stuff like that, just like there's people interested in writing music. And there's, in my opinion, there's not a better scene in any style of music that does it like this.
Seriously,
Like,
there's a huge history of throwing shows in people's basements in this scene. Like, you don't do that unless you love it. And I love what you said. And again, this is just a couple old dumbasses soapboxing, and I'm sorry, but that's what this is about. Like, go be part of your scene. Go do something. Go get involved. Like, the coolest thing about hardcore, and we've learned this and said this on this podcast, all these bands that we talk to have, like, we have no right talking to them. We're idiots. You know what I mean? We're nobodies. But like, all you got to do is just reach out to them, and they're cool.
Right.
Like, go to these hardcore shows. Go talk to the bands. Go hang out at the merch table with them. Go invite them to go eat at McDonald's or street tacos or something after. Like, that's what this scene's about. And, I think all the time about what Time Heist said about how, like, kids have forgotten to, like, go to shows and talk. Like, he even says that. He's like, I go play all these shows and, like, nobody talks to anyone. And it's like, man, let's fix that. Like, let's bring the community back. Let's make it art. Let's hand out pamphlets again. Let's, print out vegan stuff. I'm not vegan, but like print out vegan stuff and hand it out. I don't know. Bring some of this stuff back. Care about your art. Care about the album. Care about the message. Like, I don't know. It's just.
Go talk to the weird 30-year-old dude who's standing there by himself because he's just coming to shows.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
it's weird too, but like, yeah, I get it.
All USLC people, I'm talking about myself. I'll stand there by myself. Like,
yeah,
come talk to me, guys. Like,
yeah. I mean, what's funny is like, so I did that when I went and saw Combust.
Yeah,
I was like standing in the venue by myself, and I turn and look, and there's another old bald dude. So like I walk over and talk to him randomly. Never seen this dude. Actually, I did see him at Drain a couple years ago because he got hit in the head with a garbage can, and I remember that very clearly. But I didn't know it was him at the time. Actually, I talked about this on the podcast, like one of our first episodes. He's wearing overalls.
Yeah,
Donald did have a fart or whatever.
It came up on my on this day 2023 like a couple weeks ago.
So yeah, that's him, right? I didn't know it at the time, but I went up and talked to him. Turns out he's from Salt Lake City. We know like a bunch of the same people. We exchange numbers, we text, and like we've gone to shows and stuff. Like, man, that's what it is.
Right.
Like that's what it is. So we're all there for the same reason. We're all messed up. Like let's bring the community back. And again, I'm not saying there's not community in these places because there are
100%.
places doing it right. But we just need to keep that going. You know.
So this got really off the rails and stuff from where we
Yeah.
started. Full circle here. What is your guys' favorite imagery? What's your favorite scene? What's your favorite style lettering and stuff like that? If you are doing different artwork and stuff like that, like throw a link below, like comment below. Like we don't get a lot of comments on this stuff. We like and share anything that we possibly can. So if
Yep.
you are actively doing artwork and stuff like that, post your page below and we will share the heck out of it. So
Yep.
we
for
got
sure.
you.
So cool. Well, hopefully this was coherent. Hopefully there was something funny in here. If not, make your own podcast.
I mean, I think Kyle going to Halloween as Festus is what we all took from this, right?
Yeah,
So
probably.
yeah.
So, all right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, peace.
Bye.